Mother, do you think they'll drop the bomb? Mother, do you think they'll
How many
like the
times have
song?
you been incarcerated?
3 times.
And can you tell us what for?
First time it was for pot. Second time it was for heroin. Third time I got in trouble for selling 2 pills. They gave me 27 months.
And how many times have you been incarcerated?
Only about 6 or 7.
Okay.
When I was younger, the first time I got in trouble was the possession of marijuana. And then about probably 6 months went by, and I was smoking weed in the apartment, and the cops knocked on the door because they had a complaint about people making noise. Well, when I opened the door, the cop smelled the weed. Well, he said he had a right to come in. So when they went to come in the apartment, they started searching, and then they found tobacco, and I was like 16, going to turn 15, or going to turn 16. They found tobacco, and charged me for that, and then they found some heroin, and they charged me for that. And I was locked up at the juvenile center in Verona for about 14 days, and then I got out on bond. Well, then I was on probation for a little bit, and then I just started failing drug tests and get locked up repeat times for just violation of probation for either not going to see a counselor when I was supposed to, or not going to see the PO, or just failing drug tests. And the last time was I was supposed to go see him a certain day, and I knew I wasn't going to pass the drug test, so I just didn't go. And they put out the warrants for me. Well, I decided to run, and I stayed on the run for like 9 months. And I waited until I turned 18 because prior to that, my probation officer told me if I got one more violation, that I would be going upstate to Beaumont for 18 months. But if I was of age of 18 when I got the violation, or when I went to court for it, that I'd just go to the jail and do my backup time that I had. So I waited until I turned, a little bit after I turned 18, I just turned myself into jail. And I went to the jail and I did 46 days there.
I was withdrawing, so that was hard.
Did they treat you badly?
No, they didn't treat me badly. I mean, it wasn't nothing bad. It's something I would never want to experience
What
again.
kinds of things did you do to pass the time while you were incarcerated?
Well, I was at a work center, but they wouldn't let me work because of my disability. And I had my own TV, and I wasn't at one of these maximum security prisons. It was a work center to where it was a dorm. And so I'd go out and walk and stuff like that through the day and watch TV, and read. I read a lot.
So it was a pretty relaxed structure.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing like you see on TV, how these hard prisons, it wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't like, fights every day. And people, you had little arguments, people would get in a little argument, but that was because you had 100 girls in one little dorm room, together, But it wasn't nothing that, it was kind of laid back, But still with that, I still don't want, because I hated it every day. My time went by slow. It surprised me the last 3 weeks I was, before I got out, it did fly by. But otherwise, I mean, the months, and especially here at the holidays, that was the hardest. Because, you're away from Thanksgiving, you can't be with them on Christmas, so it was hard.
It was different. It was better than a juvie. I mean, it's not a good place to be, but
What was juvie like?
you have to ask before you can do anything. Like, you can't get up to go to the water fountain. You gotta ask permission to go to the water fountain. You gotta ask permission to go back from the pod to your cell. You just gotta pretty much ask before you can do anything. And you're constantly getting locked down throughout the day. You gotta sit in a little cell all day long. It's not fun.
So it was heavily structured.
Yeah. It was kind of like a little miniature maximum security prison.
Well, all 3 times was stupidity, but the last time when I got charged for distributing, I didn't have a job. My husband didn't have a job. My bills had to be paid. It wasn't I was out here selling to make money, to get rich or anything like that. I had to sell them to pay my bills. When I got out, I went to my mom's, and I'm living there, and I was getting disability and from the hospital, and they cut me, they gave me a lump sum. That's how I bought my trailer, but then I still had to pay lot rent and stuff. So right now I'm on hide for, my disability back, so hopefully everything will go through. I wouldn't do nothing to jeopardize, to get me back in there, because I'm on 3 years probation. And plus, if you bring back a new charge, you're gonna get time for that, plus whatever, then they're gonna violate you. You can read time for that violation, So, no, it's one experience I'd never want to experience again.
Probably not.
And why is that?
I mean, going back all the time, you kind of learn your lessons you don't know. When you're sitting in the cell all day, you're kind of looking at like, man, I could be out on the street, hanging out with friends, working, doing this and doing that. But instead, I messed up, got caught, sent in jail.
Well, I haven't applied for jobs, because I'm disabled, my back, that's why I'm on pain medicine and stuff. But I lost my home, I lost my trailer, when I got incarcerated, I lost, a lot of my stuff, because my mom didn't have room for it. And then my husband, right after I got locked up, got incarcerated, and he's still incarcerated. So, I lost a lot of things, a lot of personal things, sentimental things, and I lost time with my family. That was the main thing. I prayed every night for my mom to be okay, because she's in her 70s and she's not in greatest health, And that was one of my biggest fears, is losing her while I was incarcerated.
How do you think it's affected other members of your family?
It was hard on her. It was hard on him. That's my son, and it was hard on him, because it was like, he was, lived with me, and then when I got locked up, he didn't have no place to live, and, she let him move in with her. So it was, it was hard on him. And just like my mom, she wanted to come down and see me all the time, but I was like 3 or 4 hours away, and I just told her it would be hard on her. She'd come down and saw me 3 times. She would have come down more. She wanted to come down more, and I told her no, because it was hard on me to visit with her and let her walk out that door, and I can't go with her, So, but so it took a lot, away from her. It took 2 years away from me being with her, and 2 years being away from him. Not to get in trouble no more. Just stay, I stay away from people. I stay at home all the time. I don't really go nowhere unless, I go with him somewhere to the store, go to the doctor or something like that. But otherwise, I stay home. And I just assume for nobody, that's into do drugs and stuff, just to stay away,
I don't want to do it. You can't trust anybody. Because, everybody, there's snitches everywhere. Somebody's going to tell them. You can grow up with somebody all your life and they get in trouble for something. They don't want to go to jail, so they're going to put it off on the next person. So, don't do it, because you're pretty much going to get caught eventually.
Just stay away from it. Because it's, eventually, you might not get, if you don't sell it, but if you do sell, you're going to eventually get caught. Because there's going to be somebody out there that you're messing with that gets in trouble and is going to wear a wire on, because that's how I got caught. This person got in trouble and he wore a wire to where, and even with possession, it's easy, say if you got it in your car and you get pulled over and they want to do a search, we're right there, you're going to, get a possession charge. So it's, just to stay away, and then, you don't have to worry about it.
John is in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government. The man in a trench coat, badge out, laid off, says he's got a bad cough, wants to get it paid off. Look out, kid, it's something you did. God knows when, but you're doing it again. You better duck down the alleyway looking for a new friend. The man